Welcome to another lessons with me, and today we'll talk about a continuation of sine and cosine, and this is sine cosine part 2. First of all, let us review what is sine and cosine means. Sine A before is here's the angle A, that's the height over the hypotenuse, or more commonly it's called opposite. That means this is the side that is opposite of A over the hypotenuse. So in this our case is A over C. Well, cos A is base over hypotenuse, or more commonly called adjacent over the hypotenuse. Now, if we manipulate this formula a little bit, for example, using sine A, if I use sine A is equal to A over C, and A itself is C sine A. That is, A itself, the height here is the C sine A, that is the hypotenuse times the angle A over here. And if I manipulate this formula cosine A equal to B over C, then the adjacent B can be found as C cosine A. So C cosine A. These two formula happens to be very useful formula. It helps us to solve questions quickly. So let's look at two examples here. These are two simple examples. For example, we have a triangle like this. Here's the angle 30 degrees and hypotenuse is 8. I want to find out A and B. That is the opposite and the adjacent. The way I remember is that, well, A here is the opposite of 30 degrees. That is, I see somebody standing opposite me. I see somebody. So this is the I, and you see somebody. See, C standing start with an S. S and sine start with an S. So I see somebody standing. So it's A here. So here I can write A equal to 8 sine 30 degrees. And sine 30 degrees is, if you remember carefully, that is just half. So the answer to this is 4. And similarly, I can calculate for B. B is adjacent. Adjacent here. It's on the ground. And you put a carpet on the ground. Carpet start with a C. Cosine start with a C. So then this is B, 8 cosine 30 degrees. And 8 cosine is square root of 3 over 2. And you need to memorize this from the previous lesson. So the answer is 4 times square root of 3. So these are the answer, A and B. Right? So here's another one. So we're going to try it again. You might want to try this before you continue watching the video. All right? Please stop and try this. Okay, welcome back. And here is 40 degrees and opposite. So A is opposite. I see somebody standing opposite me. Standing is S, so sine. So A is equal to 5 sine 40 degrees. Now, I don't really know what 40 degrees is, so I need to use a calculator. So I have used a calculator here. I put in 40 degrees and then sine times 5. And that happens to be 3.21 to 3 significant figures. 3.21 to 3 SF. And because this is an approximation, I cannot use equal sign anymore. I have to use the weighting for approximation. And how about B? Well, B is 5 cosine 40 degrees because it's on the ground and you put a carpet on the ground. And using your calculator, so 40 degrees cosine that times 5, you get roughly 3.83 to 3 significant figure. So here are the answers. Okay, so now you look at example number 3. Example number 3 is a word problem. They just say a 3-meter length ladder is placed so that one end, so the important information here is 3 meters, that is the length of the ladder, is placed so that one end touches the bottom of a window. So you can now think about drawing this thing out. So I can think about drawing this by, let's say, here's a window, right? That's the window, right? And there's a ladder coming down, and then this is 3 meters. And the bottom here is the bottom and the other end A makes, so this is A, makes an angle, right? Let's say this is the angle of 72 degrees to the ground. This is the ground. Okay, this is the ground here, right? That's the ground, for example. Okay. All right, so we need to find how high is the window. So basically, is this how high is the window? And I'm going to use h to denote the height. So basically, the diagram that I need is this. H is unknown. Here is 72 degrees, and here is 3 meters. So I want to find h. So again, this is the eye, and you see somebody standing opposite you, S for sine. So h is, in this case, is 3 sine 72 degrees. And again, 72 degrees, I don't really know what it is, so I need to use a calculator. 72 sine of that times 3. And that is roughly equal to 2.85 to 3 significant figures. 2.85, and that is in meter. And the next question is that how far NA is from the wall? A, and this is the wall. How far is this? And this time I'm going to call this B. Alright? I'm going to call this B. So B is on the ground. And you put a carpet on the ground. Carpet starts with C and it's cosine. So B here is 3 cosine 72 degrees. And that's roughly equal to 72 cosine times 3 is 0.927323 SF. And this is also in meter. Alright. Thank you very much for watching.